Today, still not excessively hot, not terribly muggy, and we do have at least a little bit of wind. Winds from the east northeast, you can see up to 10 to 15 miles per hour. Our dew point temperature and humidity not too terrible for New Orleans. It's actually in the upper 60s for dew point temperatures north of Lake Pontchartrain, so feeling pretty nice and dry from Slidell, especially over into coastal Mississippi in particular today, but all across the North Shore and south of the lake, not bad. Temperatures in the 80s. It could be a lot worse this time of year. Our feels like temperature upper 80s to 90s, and we do have again that movement to the air in the form of this breeze that's been coming in from the east and northeast. Our average high at this point in the early part of September is 90. This is for the Kenner Airport. Look at this record 100 degrees, so we could easily be a lot hotter. Also, you could look at this record low. Now, this is from the 1960s, but we did hit 62 degrees, so not completely off the table to get these fronts moving in, and at times some stronger fronts, especially toward the end of the month of September, of course. But we do have another front on the way, not going to be extremely strong, but at least it'll kind of keep some pretty pleasant conditions around considering where we could be this point in the year. Again, looking at live radar, there are just a couple of very tiny showers in the vicinity south of Lake Pontchartrain, but especially toward the coast. And then when we look at satellite imagery, we can see the clouds billowing up, and just south of our coastline, a decent bit of shower action ongoing all across the southern coast or off the coast of South Louisiana. And we have our surface front, which over the weekend finally nudged south far enough to bring our humidity down a touch, even though we did get a few tastes of that lower humidity earlier in August as well. And then we have one more front off to the north, just kind of hovering there. So looking at our model, this is our high resolution model this afternoon. It has a lot of rain that we're not actually seeing, so just a heads up there, but you can see our rain chance. I have it about 20% today for especially south of the lake spots and toward the coast. Even this model, which tends to overperform, really doesn't have all that much. So just a heads up, that is a possibility, but not a lot of us should expect that rain. And then tomorrow we will see how quiet things continue. I actually have a much lower rain chance tomorrow. Our high resolution model really not showing much. Today, high temperatures topping out upper 80s to about 90, so pretty close to average or perhaps a little bit below average. Our low temperatures tonight expected upper 60s north of the lake, like I'm sure you've been enjoying those slightly cooler, slightly less humid kind of mornings there, and south of the lake lows in the lower 70s. Looking at our upper pattern, we have a trough that's going to sink just a little farther to the south, and that will eventually bring in that slightly drier air. And looking at our European model, for example, into this weekend, here's another front. Now, it does have some rain for us. This is Sunday morning, and then into the Monday time frame, maybe a little higher chance to get some scattered rain with this front. And then it looks like it might settle just south of our coastline for next week. So that might bring our rain chance up perhaps for some scattered rain Monday, Tuesday, and into maybe the middle part of next week. What is it going to do for our humidity? That we're looking at the European model solution for our dew point temperatures in the next 7 days. And you can see it's not awful. It might actually go up a touch at the start of next week. We'll see. That front might push all the way south, but it does look like this weekend at least we'll get that front moving through to just kind of maintain what we have going with our dew point temperatures in the lower 70s or 60s, especially north of the lake. So that not terrible humidity kind of sticking around. Tropical outlook, we have this one wave. It's not organized yet, but in the next 7 days, it's forecast now to have a high chance of developing, so could possibly become by the end of the week or early next week, Tropical Storm Gabrielle. You can see our European model and our GFS model showing a movement out to the north at the end of that time frame, so we'll see if that does happen. We're talking about not this week, but next week for potential placement somewhere over the western Atlantic. A trough of low pressure is moving off the east coast of the U.S. We have a big high here that it might get guided around, so we will see. But just a glance at the upper steering for next week appears to keep it away from us. It's way too early to say for sure, but we'll track it. It is nowhere near us at this point. 7-day forecast shows a little warm up in temperatures as slightly drier air filters in at the end of the week and into the weekend. You can see that slight rain chance returning.